So we went over this real brief on the first day, but the first part of any stroke is the preparation. Raise your hand if you can give me a definition of, when you're doing the preparation for the stroke, what would be some things that you have to do as far as preparing? What do you think, Laura?
Watch the other person and see where they're hitting the ball.
Okay, see where they're hitting the ball and also see what type of hit that they're doing, right? Okay. Is there any way that you can know prior to looking at them, is there any way that you can have any other preparation even before that? What do you think?
Placing the ball or something?
Okay, so you know based on your placement and also on the quality and type of ball that you do, what might likely be coming back, right? So if I'm playing against Ayano and I flip fast to her wide forehand, what's going to come back? Is she going to give me a short drop shot? Most likely not, right? So we know out of the dozens of options there are, now we can narrow it down a little bit to what it could be. So if I typically flip wide to her forehand, she's a right-handed looper, what do you think she may possibly do?
Cross-court.
She may loop, okay? Maybe not cross, but the direction of travel is still going to kind of be this way, okay? So it's likely not going to go to my extreme backhand. Even if she goes down the line, the ball is still traveling toward my forehand, okay? So when you're preparing for a shot, one of the main things that you have to do is know what kind of shot you did. A lot of times in the drills that we did out here, I'll say, okay, I want you to hit 2 balls here and 2 balls there. And people are like, why do I have to hit 2 there and 2 there? I just want to hit anywhere. They just want to do a kind of a random free-for-all. The reason a random free-for-all is not necessarily good is because you need to know where you place the ball so that you can have an understanding of what's possibly coming back. Okay? What else? What else is important as far as the preparation? Any idea? The mental preparation to assume that your shot is coming back. A lot of times what I see out there, especially when we start playing some points, is that you'll hit a particular shot and you'll kind of watch to see like, did he get it back? And then after he gets it back, then you're preparing. All right? The preparation starts long before that, assuming that the ball is coming back. So instead of thinking of one isolated shot, like my forehand flip to Ayano's wide forehand, I have to think of the shot sequence. So I flip to her wide forehand, now I'm expecting it to come back, so I'm thinking mentally about sequencing it with the next shot. What about body position? Let's say, for example, I give a very heavy backspin push, kind of half long to Ayano's forehand, and she's getting under the ball and she's going to spin it up. What do you think my preparation should be if I'm going to block? Do you think that my body position needs to be close? Do you think I need to be mid-distance? Or do you think I need to be far from the table if I'm going to block her spinny loop? What do you guys think? What was that?
Close.
Close. Because if it has a lot of spin and it's short, I need to be able to hit the ball early. So the body preparation, depending on what you're doing, is going to be drastically different. Okay? What happens if she serves half long to me, I move in and then spin it? What is she likely to do? Maybe she's going to block fast, so I'm going to get my body back a little bit, lean forward, so I'm leaning forward as I hit the next ball. Okay? So the second thing is body position. The third thing is backswing. So for a backswing, what's important? Let's say, instead of working on loop, let's say push. Let's say I'm going to do backhand push. Blake serves short to my backhand, and I'm going to push. What kind of things are important on my backswing? What about the length of my backswing? Okay. For push on a short ball, do you want to take a huge backswing or do you want to take a shorter backswing? Shorter, right? Because you have the option to push short or you have the option to follow through. Okay, so shorter backswing. What about the height? Do you want to start from a high position or a lower position? Lower, right? So backswing is another element to all the different strokes. What about contact point? We talked about this on the first day. What are some elements of the contact point for every stroke? Whether it be flip, or counter loop, or smash, or chop, or lob, or block. What are some important things on the contact point that you got to be thinking about? What do you think, Sid?
I feel it's always better to come towards the lower than face, so
Okay.
you don't hit the ball by the edge. So you're always like going below the ball, covering it, and then.
Okay, okay. So you're talking about when you're playing topspin? Not when you're like
At
pushing,
any
right?
spin, I feel like if I don't, then it hits the edge of my thing.
Yeah, so it's called following the contour of the ball. So the contour or the shape of the ball, if you come at it from too high of a position, like this, then it's likely to hit the edge. Where if you're able to cover over the ball like a little bit of this at contact, you're going to grab the ball a little bit more. Okay. Good. couple other things that we talked about as far as the contact point is where to touch on the ball, and then the action or feeling at the point of contact. So we haven't really used these terminologies very much lately, but there's like the smash feel, where you feel like you're impacting the ball like this. There's the gumming feeling, where you're hitting into more of the sponge, okay? Gumming, or I like to call it bruising. Imagine if this is like an apple, and I'm hitting deeper into the apple, it's like bruising the apple, okay? And then there's peeling, as if you're just like peeling the edge, peeling the peel of the apple, or you're just like skimming the ball lightly. So you've got 3 layers here on your racket. You've got like the wood, you've got the sponge, and you've got the top sheet. So for the smash technique, you're using more into the wood. For the gumming, you're using more of the sponge. And for the peeling, you're using more of the top sheet. Okay? And then there's all kinds of stuff in between that. So that's on the contact point, and also the point at which you hit the ball in the arc. So this is the net here, and the ball hits. Are you going to hit the ball on the rise, on the top of the bounce, or on the fall? And I like to be specific, but I also like to give general principles. One of the general principles is when you're defending, you want to hit the ball either on the rise or on the fall, and when you're attacking, you want to hit the ball on the top. Why do you think when you're, let's say, smashing, you'd like to hit the ball on the top of the bounce when it's at its highest point? Why do you think that?
Most clearance over the net.
Most clearance over the net, right? Where if I hit the ball here, chances are it's going to hit the net, or if I let the ball drop below the table, then I don't have a direct shot to the net, right? Why do you think when you're pushing that you want to hit the ball early? Why not push from up here? What do you think?
Because then it will go lower instead of like having this high lob.
Right, so you have a few options. From early, you can push short or long. You take the time away from the opponent, and you can keep your push quicker and lower. Good. What about for chopping? If somebody loops and I want to chop, why is it bad to chop up here? Why would it be better to chop here? Same principle, because you want to keep it lower. If I hit the ball up here and I'm chopping, chances are the ball is going to come out. If I let it drop lower, that's better. So the general rule is that you want to be able to let the ball rise when attacking, and you want to hit the ball either early or late when defending. The follow-through. What's important about the follow-through? What do you think? Any thoughts on the follow-through?
You're in position for the next shot.
What was that?
Finish toward the table.
Okay, but it depends on what spin you're dealing with. What was that?
Well, if you follow through, then you're in position to either use backhand or forehand.
Yes, yes. Sometimes players, they don't follow through on their shot because they're really trying to prepare for the next ball. Especially when you're attacking, it's critically important on your flip or on your loop or on your smash that you be able to accelerate through the ball as opposed to stopping at contact. Because if I stop at the point of contact, that meant that I had to decelerate slightly before in order to stop. Okay? So especially on attacking, accelerating through the point of contact is critically important to maximize your speed and spin. For many of you out there, when you're looping, I feel that you're decelerating or hesitating at contact. I tell many of my students all the time, look, if you want to have the best loop possible, you need to actually hit through it with confidence as opposed to slowing down. Do you mind if I use you as an example, Sarah?
Yeah.
It's okay? Okay. So Sarah played in one of the most prestigious tournaments in North America on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. She played in the North American Hopes. So she's #1 in North America, and she was trying to qualify for the World Hopes in Spain. She played 14 matches in 3 days. For some matches that she had high confidence and she was spinning through the ball, she was about 90 to 95% on. On the matches that she wasn't doing as well and she hesitated a little bit and played a little bit safer, her percentages dropped from like 90% on to maybe 60, 65%. Why was that? Why was it that when she actually played slower, her percentages went down? Wouldn't you think that if you played more control that your percentages would go up? No, when she played slower, she generated less spin, and less spin means less control. Okay? So regardless if you're playing in the under 800 at the Akron Open or you're playing in the North American Hopes, you have to realize for your attack shot that typically accelerating through the point of contact is actually going to give you more control than decelerating or stopping. And then the final thing is preparation for the next ball. As soon as you hit, you need to be able to program yourself as far as what's coming back next, what's coming next, what's coming next. That's one of the biggest things that you have to be able to do is understand what shot you hit, where you hit to, and what are the possibilities coming next. A lot of people think that my reflexes are fast. I've taken a hand-eye coordination reflex test that actually measures my reflexes, and they're pretty slow. The only way that I'm able to play is that I'm able to watch and see what's coming because I know what the possibilities are as far as what's coming next. So when I push short to Blake's backhand, I understand what the possibilities are. When I flip to Sid's middle, I understand what the possibilities are. So that's what you always have to be thinking about, is what's possibly coming next.